Get started. So I want to welcome everyone this evening. This is a special meeting and we are going to recognize some of our citizens this evening. But first we're going to start with a land acknowledgement and I'm going to pass that over to Councillor Sullivan.
Thank you, Your Worship. Good evening. The land on which the city of St. John, or Maniquist, is situated is the traditional territory of the Wolastoqiyik. The Wolastoqiyik, along with their indigenous neighbors, the Mi'kmaq, and Pescatomakati, signed peace and friendship treaties with the British Crown in the 1700s that protected their rights to lands and resources. Let's take a moment to reflect.
Okay, City Clerk, next item, please.
The National Anthem.
Before we get started, I just want to say welcome to everyone. We're going to recognize our important citizens tonight, and it's also the birthday of St. John's birthday. So we're 237 years old today, so it's an exciting day, and that's why we thought we've got Councillor Armstrong in the audience up there. Councillor, welcome. Haven't seen you in a while. So anyways, it's an exciting evening, and we're so thrilled to have everyone here tonight. So I'll ask the City Clerk for the next item.
Disclosures of conflict of interest.
Seeing none, next item.
Civic awards.
Over to you.
Your Worship. Your Worship, if we could begin this evening's agenda item by asking the City Clerk to read out the proposed motion on which we are seeking a mover, a seconder, and then a vote of council.
Resolved that Common Council awards Citizen of the Year for 2021 to Shirley McAlery, and resolved that Common Council award Council Commendations for 2021 to the following recipients: Alex Ash, Derek Chasson, Hazel Clark, and Paul McDade.
I'll take a mover. I've got the deputy and I've got Councillor Stewart on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. City Manager, over to you.
Your Worship, members of council, distinguished guests and award recipients, good evening. My name is John Collin. I'm the City Manager for the City of St. John, and I'll be your Master of Ceremonies this evening. I am seldom Master of Ceremonies. Usually others take on this role, but there's really two times when I believe I need to be that person. One is on the swearing in of a new council because of the importance of that event, and secondly, for civic recognition because of the importance of that event. So it's my very great pleasure and honor, quite frankly, to stand before you this evening as your Master of Ceremonies. Thank you for coming tonight. Today is an important day for our city. It's our birthday. We are 237 years old. It is an important day, and in honor of this momentous occasion, the City of St. John is hosting two important events to mark the occasion. The first happened earlier this evening when we launched our 8 catalysts for growth, our 4 catalytic infrastructure projects, and our 4 catalytic advocacy efforts will focus the work of our Common Council and city staff over the next few years. The second is why you and us are all in this room right now. Our first City of St. John Civic Awards ceremony. This ceremony traces its roots back to 1785. In those early days, the mayor and Common Council could confer the freedom of the city on any deserving person. Unfortunately, back then, a deserving person, more often than not, was a white Anglo-Saxon male property owner. Times have changed. We've come a long way since 1785. In 2019 and 2020, the City of St. John enacted a new civic recognition and awards policy. And tonight, nearing the end of the COVID pandemic, we finally have an opportunity to enact that policy. It's taken some time. But we will be presenting the first recipients to all of you of the revitalized and important civic recognition program. The policy lays out 4 separate civic award categories. The first and highest award is still the freedom of the city. It traces its roots back hundreds of years throughout the Commonwealth. Our Common Council can bestow on a person or persons, including a military unit, the freedom of the city. In a few weeks' time, we will bestow this honor on the 403 City of Calgary Helicopter Operational Training Squadron of the Royal Canadian Air Force that has their home just up the street or up the road at Canadian Forces Base Gagetown. Everyone is invited to join us on June the 12th at 11 a.m. in King Square for that important ceremony. The next level, if you will, is Citizen of the Year, which is awarded to a resident individual, group, organization, or business in the City of St. John that has made a significant impact on our city. The honorees in this category would be recognized for making the city a better place to live through their exemplary actions, volunteer efforts, and civic engagement. For this first Civic Awards ceremony, as was just passed by this council, we are bestowing this honor on Shirley McAlery, our former mayor, our former deputy mayor, our former city councillor, and an all-round shining beacon of what we should all aspire to be as citizens of St. John. We also have what's known as a council commendation, which is awarded in appreciation by this Common Council to an individual, group, organization, or business in the greater St. John region. The honorees in this category make our city and our region better through their distinguished service and contributions to the community. For this first Civic Awards ceremony, we'll bestow 3 commendations to Alex Ash, Derek Chiasson, and Hazel Clark. We'll also bestow a commendation to Paul McDade later this year. All 4 honorees embody the spirit of distinguished service and contribution to community. The final part of our awards and recognition program is a category that we call the Mayor's Congratulatory Certificates, Proclamations, and Letters of Greeting. And they are awarded at the discretion of the Mayor or Common Council to recognize significant milestones. You see these on council agendas some weeks, and there will be many more as we move forward as a community that appreciates its constituents. These are the 4 categories of our Civic Awards and Recognition Program. Together, they are our opportunity to honor those who have done so much for the city of St. John. The individuals we truly appreciate and honor tonight are exactly the sorts of positive faces we want within our city. Shirley, Alex, Derek, and Hazel, thank you for all that you've done for the city of St. John. We'll now take the opportunity to speak directly about each recipient and ask them to come forward to receive their awards. The first is our Citizen of the Year, Shirley McAlery. Shirley, if I could ask you to come forward at this time and for the mayor to join her, and if we could ask you to face your audience. And Keith will show you where to stand. Ladies and gentlemen, it is cliche to say that our inaugural Citizen of the Year honoree needs no introduction. But Shirley McAlery has served the city of St. John with such distinction that it borders on repetitiveness. Shirley is a former 3-term mayor, a former 2-term deputy mayor, and a 3-term councillor, and served on our common council combined for 22 years in total. Shirley's distinguished service to our city's government, which came to an end in May of 2021, the year for which she is being recognized, would likely be reason enough to warrant a Citizen of the Year award. However, she's also been a dedicated community volunteer, business leader, and exceptional neighbor for far longer than those 22 years. Most recently, she's served on the board of directors of Bobby's Hospice, taking the lead on their annual dinner and fundraising drives. She's been a tremendous supporter of the seniors throughout our city, even at the height of COVID, helping them by hosting large community events and barbecues and games days, to the much smaller but equally important generous actions such as simply walking a dog for a senior who has mobility challenges. As there's far much more that I could mention, I'll stop here and invite our mayor to present Shirley McAlery with our 2021 Citizen of the Year. Don't go anywhere, ladies, please. In addition to the certificate for Citizen of the Year, we have another special memento. You will recall in Hurricane Dorian a few years ago, a number of trees in King Square fell. We did manage to salvage some of the wood, and from that wood, we have created commemorative plaques. And actually, this is the first piece of wood as a commemorative plaque that we are presenting to anybody. And it is again to Citizen of the Year, Shirley McAlery. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Shirley would know better than most of us the inner details of our procedural bylaw. And she would know, and I need to explain to you all, that there are only very prescribed opportunities for members of the general public to actually address council. But as Citizen of the Year, we waive those requirements. And we now invite Shirley McAlery to honor us by saying a few words to this council. Shirley.
Well, thank you very much, John, and to members of the public and members of the council, honored guests, your mayor, Donna. It's just like coming back to home. I guess I've been here for so many years in this room, and Paula said to me on the way in, how do you feel? I said, well, it's something like old home week. But I just want to say thank you so much for giving me this honor. It's just a privilege for me to be here tonight. I've loved being on council, and I want to say thank you to each and every member of council for what you do, and to the mayor, of course, because I've been in your shoes. I've been there for a number of years, and I've lived through what you've all been going through the last few months, and you'll just love it. You'll never regret a day of being on council, because after all the years that I've been on council, I never had an argument with anyone. I loved everybody. They loved me. I just think of the good things. I never think of anything that was rough going through or anything like that. So I just want to say to you that it's just an honor to serve the city. And volunteering, I've always volunteered for a long time in many projects and many organizations, and I want to tell you that it's a privilege to volunteer. You'll always get back more by volunteering than you give out. And when you can help somebody, even when I have those senior events every so often, I still have them, just to know that somebody can go and be out for the afternoon and enjoy themselves. And when they come up and say, oh, I had a wonderful time, that's enough. I really appreciate it. I enjoy doing it. It doesn't bother me at all, because I know it's helping other people. And regardless of what you do for somebody else, it adds to their life, and it's so important. And I just want to say thank you for what everyone does, and to the other award winners, congratulations. You well deserve what you're receiving tonight. And to John, I know John is going to leave our city in a few months, and I want to say thank you to John, and as city manager, because being the city manager and being any member of senior staff, and there's a number of them here tonight, it's a hard job, because everything you do, you can't please everybody, and you have to do just the best that you can do and be true to yourself, and know that what you've done, that you can look in the mirror in the morning and say, I did the right thing. And I just want to add this. You may think it's, maybe I shouldn't say it, but this award is very special in a way, because I want to tell you, when I was mayor, I used to have people come in. It was a little different then. We didn't have security at City Hall. And I used to have a number of, citizens of the city come in and tell me different stories that happen around the city at all hours. And, at nighttime, in those days anyway, the uptown was pretty busy at night. And King Square had a lot of visitors. And they used to tell me stories of what the things happen in King Square. Now, I can't tell you all those stories, because some of those things I won't talk about. But I was thinking, well, it's pretty interesting to be up there. And, our local 18, the outside workers who clean King Square, I used to be thinking that they did a great job in those days. They still do. And I thought, well, maybe when it's time for me to pass on, I'll have my ashes spread in King Square, because I'll be able to get to see all the exciting things that happen in that King Square. So I've always said that. I've kind of changed my mind over the years, but in those years, I used to think of that, because I had so many exciting stories told to me about what happens uptown at nighttime. Good things, bad things, indifferent. Anyway, Andy, I want to say this is a big surprise for me. I didn't know I'd ever be Citizen of the Year, so I want to say thank you to Mayor Donna, and all the members of council. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Citizen of the Year is awarded once yearly. The next level of council commendations will be offered more frequently, but it is still a very high honor that is bestowed upon members of our community by the Common Council of St. John. This evening, we will recognize 3 individuals and a 4th at a later date. For the first, I would ask Alex Ash to please come forward. Our first council commendation honor tonight goes to Alex Ash, nominated by Councillor Killen. Alex is one of the key founders and leaders of Chroma NB. That is an advocacy group that has been running events, educational experiences, and several other awareness initiatives that support St. John and New Brunswick communities. Hailing from the UK, Alex has jumped right into the community and is making an incredible impact. Alex wanted to highlight the fact that they don't do this alone. They're especially thankful for the help of their Chroma NB co-founders, Kira Pridgeon, Manjit Tour, and Nada Ratmi. Thank you all for the work that you do to help the 2SL LGBTQIA+ persons in our city. The mayor will now present a council commendation to Alex Ash. Thank you very much. Our second council commendation honor tonight goes to Derek Chason. Derek, if you could come forward, please. Derek was also nominated by Councillor Killen. Derek is an incredibly dedicated and organized member of the community, and he's leading the charge on the Dominion Park revitalization. His leadership abilities and collaborative nature deserve sincere recognition. The mayor will now present a council commendation to Derek Chason. Our third and by no means least council commendation honor tonight goes to Hazel Clark. Hazel, could you please come forward? Hazel operates the North End Food Bank and is a dedicated community volunteer for many years for many causes. She's also a great fundraiser who several years ago found her organization more than $40,000 short a few weeks before Christmas time. Hazel spearheaded a team that successfully raised that amount and more. The people of the North End know Hazel well and know that she's there to support their food security needs. Hazel was recommended by Councillor Ogden, and I will now ask the mayor to present the council commendation. I'd now like to invite the mayor to say a few words. Your worship.
Thank you, City Manager. I'll just wrap up this evening. I just wanted to mention tonight that our own Councillor Norton had a conflict and couldn't make it, but I also have Noah Donovan here, who's a councillor in Quispamsis, and I have Brittany Merrifield, who's the mayor of Grand Bay Westfield, with us this evening. So I wanted to say once again, sorry. Oh, yes, I already mentioned Blake, Councillor Armstrong. It's nice to see you as well. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. We certainly celebrated St. John's birthday in style tonight. As the city manager mentioned, I am the 79th mayor in 237 years, but only the third woman. And two of them are here tonight, two mayors. Which is hard to believe in a way, but anyways, that it took this long for them to elect women, but whatever. Tonight, as the city manager mentioned, that we launched our 8 catalytic projects, and those were the innovative Central Peninsula Learning Commons, new comprehensive recreational facility, the redevelopment of Fundy Key, the investment in the industrial parks, and our 4 catalytic projects that we will advocate for, which will be comprehensive tax reform. You've all heard of that. Matching dollars for bilateral funding. I like to always say that some of the infrastructure in the South End was laid when Abraham Lincoln was the president, so it's got to be replaced. And affordable housing, of course. But this is our inaugural ceremony, and so it's been wonderful to have the members that we've had here tonight, the citizens we've had here tonight for our inaugural meeting. It's very special. Shirley, you're amazing in a lot of ways. I mean, with all of the years that you've had on council, I can't believe it. I'm not going that long, but it's not as you did. But I'll have to call it quits maybe. But you have an impressive track record, and even taking that away. As a volunteer, like John said, you have an impressive record as well as a volunteer in doing good things for the citizens of St. John. And Alex, I can't wait to see what Chrome is up to next. You bring that voice to our to us LGBTQIA+ community, and we really need that. So really happy to have you here tonight with us. And Derek, I'm a walker, as you know, and Dominion Park Beach is fantastic, and it's wonderful to have someone who could, galvanize the community and really get that whole project moving. And Hazel, I'm a dietitian by profession, so food security is like number one for me. And so when you step up to that plate, it's not always a job that is a sexy job or a job, that people are going to, recognize all the time, but it is the most important job, housing, food, that we have. And so it needs people to step up to that plate too and carry that torch for people. So appreciate your effort there as well. So with that, we'll hand it back over to the city manager to wrap up, but it's been a wonderful night, and thanks everyone for coming, and thanks to the guests that supported our nominees and our winners tonight. Thank you.
Your worship, members of council, distinguished guests, award recipients, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our civic recognition ceremony for this evening. Thank you all for coming tonight. It was truly a special night. And I would ask all of our honorees and guests to just join us in the lobby for perhaps a few more photo opportunities before we depart. With that, your worship, all that's left for this evening is a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Councillor Stewart, Councillor Hickey on the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Good night.